do you think that it makes any sense for these guys to fight and brawl out like they did? Like, would you, like...
It's the end of the year. Everybody's getting heated. It's chase time. This is what they worked all year for. I could see emotions boiling over. I could see crazy things like what happened happening. If you're upset with somebody and you think another team screwed you guys, your team's going to be pissed. When they're that mad and it's the end of the year, you kind of just throw your arms up in the air and go, I've had enough. Let's go. I feel like that's what happened. They went over to try and confront them, and it turned into a brawl. And now they went over there with the intention of probably doing something stupid. Let's be serious, because why else would you show up with your entire crew? You know?
They like jumped Gordon from behind. He was standing there talking with his crew members, and then they just jump up from behind him and grab him, and before you know it, they're fist fighting. I put a link to the video into the chat room, ladies and gentlemen, so you can watch it if you'd like to. I know you haven't had a chance to see it, right?
No, I haven't.
All right, I'm gonna play it on our on the big screen for you, so you can actually watch this. Let's see if it actually does full screen for us. All right, so look, this is Gordon. Oh, I gotta rewind it a little bit for you. So that's Gordon. All of a sudden, turns around. They jump from behind him. Now, ladies and gentlemen, obviously, I put the link into the chat room. So if you're listening in the chat room, you can watch and click the link that I put in there. If you're out there in the app world, it's real easy to find on YouTube. It's on ESPN. It's not hard to find at all. That's Bower hopping out of his car. Look at this guy. He literally just gets up and starts running around the facility to go and get involved in the fight. And then all of a sudden some guys come out, they're like, wait, no, you don't want to go over there, you don't want to get involved with this, no, don't do it, blah blah blah. And it's like it just ensued into this mayhem of a fight. And I'm sorry, I have watched some brutal fights in numerous sports, and this one goes up there with some of the really bad ones. I gotta say that much. I really do. But on the sporting news of the race, we have a very tight race between five-time winner Jimmy Johnson. 5 times? Yeah. 5-time winner Jimmy Johnson. He trails by 15?
Yeah.
20 points?
20 points, I believe.
Trails by 20 points to Brad Keselowski, the leader of the chase right now.
Brad Keselowski's just got finished in the top 15 and he wins.
Yeah, it's
doesn't
just
matter
really
what Jimmy Johnson does.
Jimmy Johnson, even if he wins and Keselowski finishes 15th, Keselowski will still win the Sprint Cup chase. But at the same time, if he finishes 16th and Jimmy Johnson wins, then Jimmy Johnson...
I don't see that happening, though.
It's a tough move. It is a tough move. But you've seen
Jimmy Johnson finishing
32nd
32nd is what killed him. You cannot finish that low in the standings and expect to win the Sprint Cup Championship. You just can't. You can't make up those points. It's too hard with the point system they have in place to make up those points. Because the only way you get points is where you finish.
Yeah.
And that's really about it. So, finishing 32nd really killed Jimmy Johnson as far as points go.
Well, the accident, yeah, he got into an accident in yesterday's race. But, all right, let me backtrack for 1 second, go back to the fight, and just ask, from what you watched, would you want to mess with Clint Bowyer? I mean, that man, he jumped out that car and went running. He looked like he was ready to get down. I mean, Jeff Gordon, I can't say anything bad or good about the guy. He got jumped from behind.
They're fighting an old man, too. Jeff Gordon is like 40 years old. I don't think he's a spring chicken. They're jumping here.
I can't believe how they handled it. I would have at least tapped him on the shoulder and turned him. You know, you get the classic movie moment, you know? Tap him on the shoulder, have him turn around. Boom!
That's how mad he was.
Just
That's
jump
how mad
up
they
behind
were.
the guy. That is crazy to me. Look, I thought it was funny, I guess you would say. I understand the stress and the tension of you know, the months upon months of racing and close accidents. Now, I do know that this actually goes back about a month to a previous accident between these two guys. And I also know that apparently words were exchanged. I mean, I heard them cursing up a storm afterwards. But I know a month ago this was a similar situation without the actual fist fighting. But there was a back and forth. There were words exchanged. And now Bowyer is saying that, you know, Gordon should really watch out in the final race. Because neither one of these guys have any, they can't win.
So pretty much they're going to drive their cars 200 miles an hour and crash on purpose.
I don't want to believe that. I really don't. But why else would you say to the guy, you know, he better watch out in the next race? They have nothing to lose in the next race. You know what I mean? They don't win anything next race.
No.
They're so far out they can't win the Sprint Cup.
Yep.
So why not get that little chip off your shoulder? Why not get that little bit of something so you can end your season and be happy with something you did? Like, I could see where Bowyer's coming from thinking that way, but I really hope that wouldn't happen. So I guess what I would ask is if Bowyer goes out and knocks Gordon out of the upcoming race, you know, hits him in the back so that, you know, Gordon tail spins and, you know, wrecks his car, or this, that, or the other thing. You know, one of the hundreds of thousands of different things that can go wrong on a racetrack at 200 miles an hour. If he contributes to any of it, do you think NASCAR suspends him going into the next year? Because there's definitely going to be fines for the fight. NASCAR just hasn't decided who they're fining because they have to watch the video and, you know, try to figure out who's who and who did what, blah, blah, blah. But do you think he gets suspended? Has to miss a race or two? Maybe a large fine, maybe both. I mean, I don't think NASCAR can let him say he's going to do something, then go do something and not penalize him for it.
Yeah, you have a point there.
You know, you're blatantly saying, watch out in the next race. So that's already...
It's kind of equivalent to, say, a safety or a linebacker saying, I'm going to knock Tom Brady's head off.
And then
goes out
and gives him a helmet to helmet.
Exactly, and gives him a helmet to helmet. And you kind of got to look at it, well, the guy just said he was going to do this, and he did it. So I could see a fine and possibly a suspension, or you know, maybe, you know, for a race or two. And he has to weigh the options. Is it worth it? But in a long season, maybe it's worth it. He says, screw the first race. I'll take an extra week off.
You see, and that's what I was thinking. I was thinking that if they were, this would have to be somewhere. I think NASCAR would have to talk to him before this.
Timmy says he thinks they should suspend him for the last race of the season just for his comments.
So he's saying the last race of the Sprint Cup race,
that's in next week.
Sunday,
he
shouldn't be allowed to race in it because of what he said and what may happen, pretty much. And that's actually a really good point, because honestly, this one's in NASCAR's hands. And God forbid, and as you know, Fight points out in our chat room, you know, we think about how Bauer would feel if, you know, if he goes from trying to get revenge on this guy and just, you know, scare him or knock him out of the race to, God forbid, what if Jeff Gordon's accident's so bad that he loses his life? What do you think? How do you think Bauer lives with himself from that one? You think you're going to say to yourself, "Oh, it's part of racing"?
But that's why Tim said to just suspend him now, because this way, you know, make sure nothing can happen.
And on top of that, you also give enough time between now and the beginning of next season for things to cool down.
Yeah. Plus, if Bowyer's not in it. Plus, if Bowyer's not in it, you know, as far as having a chance to win, and Jeff Gordon doesn't necessarily have a chance to win, then maybe it's a good thing to just suspend him now for the last race based on the comments and just say, listen, you know.
Because neither guy's racing for anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So that could really lead to some drama. And that's
the only thing they're racing for now is to meet up next Sunday.
Yeah, exactly.
Somewhere on the track, they're going to end up next to each other, and it's going to end badly.